Hello, and welcome to this beginner to Factorum playthrough in Space Engineers. This one has one main mission. This is starting from scratch and making our way up to steal some of the Factorum technology. Along the way, this will also double as a bit of a beginner's guide, where I'll share some of the tips and walk you through my process without diving in too much of my tiny details I used for the previous guides. Right now, I can already spot some of the deposits up ahead, so we're off to a good start. Now, I'm keeping it pretty straightforward in terms of mods as well. I have a few selected ones, and I will talk about them in a second. Once we land the droppod, we'll take a closer look. Oh, what? Oh. Okay. How's my battery? My light is still blinking, so my battery is fine. Do I have any smoke? Doesn't look too bad. So yeah, as you might have noticed, I did a little bit of a surprise. Nothing unique, just a merge block that disconnects. I don't think you actually saw it that much on the playthrough. But it's pretty much surprising if you go 50 meters from the ground and suddenly your parachute disconnects. So, like I said, we're going to be doing a beginner's playthrough. I'm going to talk about what I'm doing and explain a little bit what I'm doing. Hopefully I can remember, because most of the thing I'm doing is always like motor memory. So I will have to figure out again which buttons I'm pressing to let you know which ones I'm pressing. I did see some deposits right there, and I just want to go and check it out. So for the people that are just starting this playthrough, you will notice there are these like markings on the ground, and I'm not sure if you see it, but you can see there's like a gray area, darker area, that actually is telling me that there are some deposits below here. So if I just land here, oh, got a new beacon. If I take my drill out, we should see if there are magnesium, silicon. So the drill itself has a ore detector that has, I think it's 25 meters. So I can find silicon, magnesium, and I think the other one might be nickel. It could be also just silicon and magnesium. Normally, you should find clusters of 3 resources next to each other, but this seems to be just 2. The other one might be deeper. So anyway, what I'm going to do, we're going to mark this here as magnesium and silicon. I'm going to put myself a little bit in the middle here, like that. There's 2 ways to add a GPS. So if you go to your inventory on the keyboard, that's by pressing I, you should have GPS on the back here. And here you can say new from current position. That is going to add a GPS on the location where my character is standing. And then I can rename this and say I might actually do Earthlike, just to remember that this is on this planet. Earthlike, magnesium, and silicon. There we go. So now there should be a marker here, as you can see, Earthlike, magnesium, silicon. And let's go and check that the other side, because there is some more there. That's silicon and ice. There is some ice here as well. Ice might be important. So let's put another one. Now, the other way you can put a GPS is not by going into the menu, but just by opening up your chat box. You type /GPS all in small letters, and then you write the tag. So EL again. Then we're going to do magnesium, silicon, ice. I'm just going to do it like that. There we go. So now we should have another market here, another market there. So if you're going up with your jetpack, you will see that there's going to be these gray markers. There is another one right there. Oh, I'm very low. I might have to walk the rest back.
Fuel critical.
Yeah, I might have to make some bottles before next time. This is all silicon. All right. So I'm going to walk my way back to the pod. My hydrogen is out. That means I need to refuel. So I do have a few mods installed. I got build info, build vision. As you can see, also my HUD is colored and the icons are colored. I got the compass on top of my screen. What else do I have? I got paint gun installed. So just that it's easier to paint some blocks if it's necessary. Then I got also quiet tools and what is the other one? Welder no eyes damage. So quiet tools are going to make the tools less noisy because it can be very loud compared with like the game sounds and the music sounds. So that is one good mod. And then welder no eye strain, I think it is. That will have less flashing on the welder when you're welding things up. I will drop a collection in the description of the video if you want to see which the mods are I'm using. Alright, so my spawn pod has a bit crashed, but it seems to be pretty complete, so we should be okay here. If you land on this one in the spawn pod, in the seat, you will have a few data pads, 1 or 2, depends a bit, and some guns. I'm gonna take the gun because I will be grinding down the seat later. I'm gonna right click to read this. A station lost its client due to some conflict of interest between factions, and now it's looking for new hires interested. This is where you should go. So I'm gonna create a GPS marker 1. Okay, I'm gonna read that one, and we're gonna make another GPS marker like that. Then I can throw these away because now they are gonna be added here as my GPS. And I'm gonna double click to enable them.
Fuel critical.
That way I can see. So there's one there, 10 kilometers away. And where's the other one? No, there's another one here. The other one is 84 kilometers. So this one is the closest by. So the ICG. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my GPS for the moment. I'm just going to disable these as they are not important. Another thing I should tell you is that I let my progression enabled. That means if I go to the toolbar, the progression menu, I press G, you will see that I will have to weld or build things before I unlock other blueprints. A lot of players don't like it. They don't like the progression as it works. There are some mods that really make this much more interesting. But for this playthrough, as a new player, you might be interested to see how it goes. So I'm just leaving the progression on, and then you can learn a bit how it works. So as you can see, if I want to unlock this toolbar here or all these blocks here, I will need to weld up this basic assembler. That is going to open up this line here. It's also going to open up that line and then everything below. If I want to unlock these right here, you can see these are linked to the lights. So if I would weld up this one, that one will then unlock these as well, and so on. So all these are locked behind certain blocks. What else did I do? If you look at my inventory, you will see I have a little bit more inventory. I got 2000 liters, and that is because I set my character inventory to 5 times instead of 3 times, because it's a little bit small if you're just having the low settings there. I made the day 3 hours instead of 2 hours, and I did allow endgame scripts as well. Under spawn pod, you will find your survival kit. This one will allow you to refuel, so I can get my energy back, my health, my oxygen, and my hydrogen. I will explain how that works in a second. This is a combination between medical station, refinery, and assembler all in one. The production is a little bit low, but it's a good way to get started. Now, as you can see, I could get my oxygen and hydrogen also charged, and that is because we do have an oxygen generator connected to it. That means I can withdraw from it. If there would be no connections, as you can see right there, there's a conveyor line going from this, from the O2 generator to the survival kit. Otherwise, I wouldn't have that chance to withdraw it. Now, in the O2 generator, we do have some ice, and ice is what is used to generate oxygen and hydrogen. It just transforms it. And I have 2 bottles in here. One is the oxygen bottle. The other one is the hydrogen bottle. If I put this in my inventory, that will now, if you look at my toolbar there, on the bottom there, you can see there's a little bottle on top of my fuel bar of the hydrogen. And that one is telling me that I do have some spare. So every time my hydrogen is going to 20, lower than 20, the fuel is going to be refilled from that bottle. And then, of course, this bottle is going to go empty, which means you have to recharge the bottle. So if the bottle disappears from your toolbar, that means there is no more fuel in it. So you have to make sure that you don't just keep flying, because you will fall and die. If I want to refuel, I can just put my bottle back, and then that bottle is going to refuel with the ice that is in there. If there's no ice, you won't refuel. Survival kit has a little bit of inventory, not that much. As I said, it is serving as a medical station, but also as a refinery and assembler, which is what we're going to do in a second. We've got our battery. Let me just grind this away. Or can I just bend over a bit? Yeah, there we go. You can see there are 3 lights enabled. The 4th light is out. That means that we are starting to drain the battery out at, I think we are at 94% now. On the right side, you can see that my power cells are showing red in the little list of components. That means if I would grind down this battery, I will not get back those power cells. So power cells are not something that is returned to you. They will become scrap. So be aware of that you lose your power cells. There's kind of a safeguard to make sure that people won't be, building batteries, grinding them down, building them, just to constantly have power without having to charge them. That was kind of the way to fix that. I got some atmosphere thrusters, not that important. We got some stuff in the back. We're going to talk about this later. So the first thing I want to do is probably start refining some of the stone. Let me turn on my light by pressing L. And let's take out our drill, which is number 3 on my toolbar. And we have 2 functions. We can do left and right. You might not see the difference on the drill itself, but if I do left mouse click, I'm going to be mining. If I do right mouse click, I'm going to be clearing terrain. So clearing terrain means you are not taking any resources. Mining means you are generating resources to be picking up. Let's see where I'm going to dig. I think I'm going to dig somewhere here, like that. And I'm going to go through my knees. I'm going to crouch. And we're going to aim at the ground. And I'm going to start with right clicking. And I'll explain you why in a second. Because you can see this is all grass. And we're going to keep going down. Now you can see we are going through the dirt. Oh, look at that. Unidentified signal. That is going to be the Factorum, just that you know. We are not ready for that. All right, so you can see now we have 3 layers. This is dirt, this is earth, and this is bedrock. If I would be mining from here, I'm now going to press left. You will see that this is going to give us a little pebble here. This pebble is going to give us 47. If I mine this, you can see these are giving me like, see, 135, 200, 216, 61. These are the small blocks. But you will get more stones from the bedrock. And then we're just going to press F to pick it up. Now, you can easily just mine and keep pressing F while you're mining. That is going to pick up the blocks straight in front of you. And on the top of your toolbar, you can see that my backpack is filling up. There we go. All right, inventory full. Let's go up. I'm going to go back straight up. And now we can go into the survival kit here. So you can either just take the stone and just slide it with your mouse into the survival kit. That is going to fill up the full survival kit with whatever can be put in there. I can also double click, which is the same result. That's going to put everything in there. If I want to just put 10 in there, I just press control. That's going to do 10. If I want to do 100, that's shift plus left mouse button. If I want to do 1000, I do control shift, and then it's going to put 1000 in there. Now, we're just going to fill it up. We have 2.7k stone in the survival kit. Now, the survival kit is not doing anything. You have to indicate that this has to refine. Later on, refineries will do this automatically, but the survival kit, you have to go to production, and then you have to press the first icon here, ingots, and you have to queue ingots on the survival kit, so it knows it has to make those ingots. And again, you can just press Control for 10, Shift for 100, and Control Shift for 1000. Now I'm going to put a few on there because we will need a lot. And what is going to happen now, it's going to take this stone and it's going to be refining this stone into 4 components, which is iron, nickel, and silicon, and the waste which is gravel. Now, waste, yeah, it's pretty much waste, although it does have some function, but for the moment, we don't really need it. So gravel, you can easily throw it away if you don't want it to use right now. All right, so I'm now out of stone. You can see for 7,083 ingots, we will need 700,000 stone, which is not something we need, but we will be just, it's easy to just keep storing this without having to worry about it. All right, so I'm gonna, let me see. I still got some stone here in my inventory. I could slide it like that. Another way you can do is just by pressing Alt and middle mouse button, and that is gonna store everything that can be stored into that container. So container storage, whatever you're using, it will store it if it's possible. All right, let's go down, let's keep mining, and let's get some more stone. In the meantime, the survival kit is doing at refining. What I want to do, as I don't have a lot of storage, we only have 1,000 liter, I would like to add a container to this so I can easily store things in here without having to constantly wait for the survival kit to be done. So what I'm going to do, we're going to be crafting components that we will be needing to build a container. So first thing what I'm going to do, we're going to open up our toolbar right here, and we're going to leave these first three in there. These are going to be our welder, grinder, and hand drill, because we're going to be using them a lot. And I'm just going to clear this toolbar here, because I don't want this to be in here. And then I'm going to go to Control 2, and then here we can start with our first toolbar. And normally what I like to do, I like to just build my toolbar in light armor block, the second toolbar in heavy armor block. So I'm going to take the light armor blocks every time, and we're going to take that one. We're going to take this one here, light armor. This is light armor. This is light armor. Light armor panels. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the light round armor here, and then we're going to take the plate. Anything else I want to put in here? I think we're going to put the beam block in here, because this is also light armor. And then we could put the scaffoldings in here as well. There we go. So this is all pretty much light armor. Then we can go to toolbar number 3. And then we're going to do the same. We're going to take the heavy armor blocks and we're going to put them again in here, the same way as we put the first light armor. Now this time I'm going to put the blast doors in here, because that's a bit more heavy armor. And we could also put the interior wall in here as well. As you can see, there's a little plus next to these. That means all of these, the plus contains all of these blocks, which I can then cycle through by using my mouse wheel. And now I'm going to start with all the conveyors for myself. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go to cargo, and we're going to take this one here, because that again has all the containers there on the right. So we're going to put the cargo container here. Then we're going to go for the conveyors. I did not unlock it yet. So we're going to wait at that. We don't have it unlocked yet. It will happen soon. So let's take my container here. So you can just press the number of where the container is in the toolbar. So it's 1. Oh, I might not have explained that. If you press Control 1, Control 2, Control 3, Control 4. That's how you switch between the toolbars you have on the bottom. So I got 9 toolbars. So I now have 4 toolbars used. I'm going to go to Control bar 4. And then we're going to go to 1. And that is going to show my container. If I press 1 again, I will be switching between small grid and large grid. And you can also see on the right side there of the car container, the little things changing. So now I'm small grid and now I'm the large grid. So I'm going to take the small grid and we're going to now use the cycle with the mouse wheel. And that is going to allow me to cycle through the different containers in that list in small grid. We're going to be using this one. And now you can see what I'm needing. I need interior plates, construction components, a computer, motor, display, and a bit more interior plates. To be able to start building this, I will need interior plates. That is the first one, the bottom item there. That is the first thing we need. If I don't have that, I will not be able to build it as initially. So we need some interior plates. Let's do that. Let's press 0 to clear the toolbar. And we're going to go to production. I'm going to go and put... not that much, 20 or so into production. That is going to give me the interior plates. So now I can take these interior plates and move them into my inventory. And now if I press 1, you can see there's now a green line around the container, which I can be able to snap, which I can snap against this one. Again, also another thing you might notice is there's a small conveyor port here, the small little one, and then of course the large one right here. We have 2 large ones and we have small ones. So it is pretty logical that you are snapping the large conveyors on the large conveyors and not the small conveyors on the large conveyors. There is another thing you need to be aware of, is if you're conveying this up with small conveyors, then the small port will not allow all of the products to transfer to, like, for example, big bottles, like maybe weapons or large components won't pass through that small port. So this is important to know if you're building a vehicle and you want to easily access your equipment, your components. You might want to make sure that you're having access through the large conveyors. All right, let me just place it, and we're going to start with the welding this up. All right, so now you can see I'm missing quite some components. Now, what I could do, I could say, okay, I'm going to write everything down I need and then put it in production. The best way to do this is actually just putting in the build planner. You can put it in the build planner by pressing the right mouse button. You can see now it says components added to the build planner. And then you can go into the conveyor here, open the survival kit, and you should be able to say add components from build planner to production queue. Now, if you don't want to do it like that, you can also use the shortcut, which is shift middle mouse button. So that's just aiming your cursor to the conveyor. You press shift middle mouse button, and that is going to put those components now into production. So your survival kit is now going to try to make all of these. I think we're going to be missing some resources. So let's go and mine some more stone. All right, so as long as we don't have the resources, it's now going to do the first thing in the queue, as you can see right here. It's going to take this ingot, but I want these to be made first. So I'm going to take the ingots and I'm going to put them in the back as the last thing of the queue. So it will take these first. There we go. So now we just can take my welder, and I think it's left mouse button. Components added to build planner. No. So I don't want to add these to the build planner anymore. I'm just going to open this up. We're going to clear this out of our build planner. We're going to right click again. Components added to build planner. Cannot withdraw. Okay, I just do middle mouse button. All right. So for withdrawing, you just aim your cursor to the conveyor port and you press middle mouse button, and that is going to retract the resources that were in your build planner. Once you have all of them, the build planner will be cleared. And then we can just weld this up right now. You can see I'm now welding up. By the way, you can see there's like a little functional hack line here. The container is on the same location. So hacking is also just straight on taking a functional off. I will show you in a second how this is showing on other blocks. But now I can drop all my resources in this medium car container, which has 3,700. That means that my survival kit... So, by the way, this is my inventory that I'm interacting with. Or if I find a dead body or something, that is the button you need to press. These are all the connected inventories to this. As you can see, here I can see all the inventories in here. If you would be connected to another ship with a connector or something, then you can also change this so you only see the inventories on the grid you are connecting to. So yeah, these are a few filters that might be important. You can also say, I don't want to see the empty ones, because sometimes your container is empty and you don't want to have a look at it. So this has 1,000, and here we have now 3,000. This means I can take some time to mine the stone and just fill up this container completely. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to go down, mine stone, fill up the container, and I'll be back in a bit. All right, container is full. The survival kit is doing what it is supposed to do. In the meantime, you can see that my energy is completely low. We want to make sure that we charge this up. The main reason is that you want your tools and your light to keep working. Once your power goes to 0, you won't have any light. Your tools won't work anymore. Also, your suit will not be able to protect you anymore as well. As you can see for the moment on the bottom, I'm currently high in O2 and warm in temperature, which means even without power, I can easily survive here. But some planets do not have oxygen, or also are very hot or freezing. So if your power goes out, that means you also will start taking damage. So make sure that your power is always charged in case you want to either protect yourself against the environment or have your tools working. And that you can just do by going to the survival kit. Now, the survival kit is very slow. There are better med stations in the future, but this one is a bit slow to charge up. Oxygen and hydrogen is going to fill up instantly, but health and power take some time. Now, while the refinery is working, let's look at what we have. As I explained, we did have a progression bar. A lot of these are behind blocks. Now, some of these are going to be easy to do. I think we have a landing gear, for example, here. So to be able to make these right here, I need to grind down or weld up a landing gear. And you can see these also means I get cockpits as well. Then once I do the cockpit, I can weld up a cockpit, and then I will unlock thrusters and guns. So, and then after that, I can do this, and then I can unlock this. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to build it. I'm just going to grind this one down until it's no longer functional. So I'm going to take my grinder, and you can see there's a functional line. I'm going to grind this until the functional line is down. Then I'm going to take my welder, and I'm going to weld it up again. And there you can see by building a landing gear, you have unlocked new blocks. So I didn't even have to build it. I just had to repair it. You will now see that my landing gear has unlocked all of these wheels and the cockpit. Inside, you will also see we have some more blocks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grind this away a little bit. All right. So I'm going to grind down, and I think I don't think I will be making any blocks available by grinding this up, welding this up. No. So this is just already done. Doesn't matter. All right. We also have the event and the merge block here. These are not part of the original drop pod. So if you're starting your game from a drop pod, you will not find these blocks there. You won't have also the scare jump of dropping 50 meters free fall. So don't worry about that. So I'm just going to grind these away. I'm just going to grind these away so I can stand a little bit closer. So I'm going to grind this away. These are not important. There we go. So we got some conveyors right here. We got a small car container. This is a timer block, and this is a beacon. These I will not be able to learn yet until I weld up as assembler, so we're not going to be bothering about that. On the bottom there, we got a hydrogen thruster. This one has no function at all, or had no function at all. This is just to give you some extra resources. As you can see, it has some materials like large steel tubes and metal grids, which we are not able to make yet. If you go to the survival kit, you will see that these are not in the building list. That means we need higher assemblers or better assemblers to make these. So we will be able to grind this down and just use the materials to build some things later on. The back, you can see that's the survival kit, and that is the O2 generator. And as you can see here, there is a pipe going from the O2 generator like that to the survival kit. I can grind this down a little bit so you can see the port behind it. There you go. You see there's a small port behind it. That small port links to the small port of the O2 generator. And that is also, by the way, the link that we're using to pull the hydrogen and oxygen from it. Now, if I weld this up again, I will be learning new blocks. By building small curved conveyors, you learn new blocks. Because what I want to show you is the difference. So if I go in here, you see I will be able to take this bottle out and I can put this bottle back. And that is because I'm using the large conveyor. If I would take, no matter which one, because the survival kit is linked with a small conveyor, if I would like to take the pipe out, you will see it's not going to work to take that bottle because the bottle does not fit through this small conveyor. So this is important. If you, for example, build a welding ship, you might want to consider avoiding using many of the small conveyors and use as much possible large conveyor connections. Now, what I'm going to do, we're going to grind down this hydrogen thruster. I don't think I will be able to fix it. No, because I need to research it first. So let's just grind it down completely, as we will need the resources anyway. I'm going to put them into here. So what we can do, we can transfer this to a ship that can fly, or we can put some wheels on it and drive with it. The problem is that most of the resources I need for that, I cannot make. That means I will need to build a base. So before we do that, I'm going to check what is down there and see if this is an important resource. Let me just recharge first. There we go. I'm going to take my drill. You can see there is some, you see a different coloring in the floor there on the terrain. We're going to go and check that out and see what that is. Okay, this is all magnesium and silicon. There might be ice as well, but maybe a little bit deeper. All right, so what I'm going to do, we're just going to mark this as another point, GPS, EL, magnesium, and silicon. We did definitely land on a nice little spot here. Let's see if there's anything else. Nickel and magnesium. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my jetpack. We're going to go up, up, up. Have a little bit of a look around and see if we can spot any more other resources nearby. I think that's the spot there. You see that? It's a little bit darker. So if you look at the colors, you will see that the yellow grass is going to show like white spots. If you look at the green grass, it's going to show a little bit more darker spots. You see there? That looks like deposits as well. There, let's go and check that. If you could find iron or cobalt, that would be a very good start. As you can see, I'm holding my drill out because the drill is what I'm using to spot resources. I got iron and nickel. This is a pretty nice low spot here, so that means it's not too deep to go and find it. So we're gonna do GPS, EL, FE, and NI. Let's see, there might be more. Cobalt. See, I didn't have to go far. Cobalt, that's what we need. Actually, I might just open up my GPS, FNE, NE, and CO. There we go. So now this should mark cobalt as well. So what I might do is try to build my base here. Now, this might be a little bit flying back and forth for the moment, but I think I'm going to build my base there. And then once I can put some thrusters on my respawn pod, I then will fly over there. That's going to be the plan. So, I'm going to get some steel plates. So let's do production. And let's put like a whole bunch of steel plates in there. I'm going to go and mine some more stone. So, by the way, the survival kit is not able to refine anything other than stone. So it doesn't matter if I go and mine the iron, I cannot refine the iron. So we're gonna be making sure that we can get all our stuff built on the other place. There are different ways to start your playthrough. This is just an opportunity I have. Some people would focus on just building a rover and then just living the nomad life. Others will take a flyer, and others just like to build a base of operation. It depends a bit on what you like to do. Nothing is wrong, to be honest. Everybody has their own play style. Everybody has their own approach. So don't worry too much about it. Just play as you feel is best, and you will learn along the way what is the best approach or the efficient way you like playing with. All right, so production, steel plate. I'm gonna take these as well, like that. What else I'm gonna put in production is I'm gonna take I think like 70 girders, like that. And let's go to the nickel and cobalt place there. And cobalt was somewhere here now. So what I'm thinking of doing is actually building straight on top of the cobalt. So then I can focus on a drill that just goes straight down. So I think this is about the center. All right. So let's open up our second toolbar. We're going to take the large, the cubes. Now, You might notice here, it doesn't really show, but it shows red. You can see there's a red line. And this is because small grids cannot be used to make static grids. You can only use large grids. So I'm going to press 1 again to make a large grid, and you can see it now is green. If I build it right here, it's going to fix itself into the ground, and that is now going to be a static grid. And this is very important because you cannot really build this on an angle because your block is just going to start rolling. So you have a totally unstable base. So you want to make sure that your grid is fixed in the ground. And I'm going to build a few blocks up there. And that should be a decent start. I'm not going to weld it up yet. That is something we can do later. Another thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to put another block underneath here. And that is just give it a bit of a, structural better look. This has nothing because structural integrity doesn't really exist in Space Engineers. As long as static grid, it will be okay. So we're going. What are we going to focus first on? We're going to be building a wind turbine. That's the first thing we're going to do because we need power. So to build a wind turbine, you need to make sure that it's clear of the terrain, and you want to give it a bit of a height. Now, normally it should be good because we have a valley down here. We do have a mountain there, which is going to be, what, a mountain, a hill, which means it might be a little bit losing the efficiency of the wind, but that's okay. I think if we build about 10 blocks high, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I build my wind turbine here, that should be pretty okay to gain quite some power. Normally what is advised if you're building wind turbines is to keep 8 blocks between each tower. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I build my next tower here, that would be efficient enough for both of the wind turbines to, well, of course, I need to build as high as that, for both the wind turbines to be efficient and get most of the power. Now, you don't always want to do this because this is just a little bit lack of resources, waste of resources, especially in the beginning. So what I like to do in the beginning of a base is actually just building my wind turbines on one tower. So what I'm going to do, we got 10 here. I'm going to build one more block up, and then we're going to build 3 blocks for the moment, like that. And then we can build a whole set of wind turbines there. Let me just open up my toolbar again, and we're going to put our wind turbines in here. There's 2 wind turbines, by the way, the twin blade and the regular. That is the vanilla one. This is a DLC. Take note that this one generates less power. And people wonder why, because it's bigger, but it only has 2 blades. This one has 3 blades. And again, you can see I need interior plates, construction components, and that is also why I was making girders, so that I don't need to do this later. So I'm going to build this one here. We're going to start building this one up. And we're going to put in build planner, and let's go back to our respawn pod to put these in production, recharge, maybe check my bottle as well. We might have to refill my hydrogen bottle because I don't want to walk this back and forth. So let's drop this in here, put in production. Let's recharge our hydrogen and our power. And then here we can go and take our bottle. You can see I'm at 30%. I'm just going to drop it in here. It's going to refill the bottle. And then we can put it back into our inventory. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do, we're going to take everything we can, because that might allow us to really build more. I'm going to leave this here for the moment. Well, we can take it with us. We can prepare for it. I might have to talk about the jetpack, because maybe I didn't really talk about it. So let me just get this wind turbine started. And another thing I want to do is focus now on a refinery and assembler. So what I'm going to do, we're going to put a refinery here, assembler here, then we can change this maybe. Yeah, okay. So let's go into our toolbar again. Let's go to here. We need 2 things I want to build is assembler, which is this one here, the basic assembler. The other one is the refinery, which is this one right here. I want to have the car container, which we already have, and the survival kit, because that is something we're going to build later as well. So let's start with the assembler. This is the basic assembler, which is a very small one. You can see there is only one port. That means make sure that you don't build it like that, because then the port is blocked off. You want to make sure that the port is available. And what I like to do is just build it like this, because then I can build my refinery against it. So if I now take my refinery, you'll see the refinery has two connections. So if I build my refinery here, just make sure that one of the connectors is connected to the connection here of the assembler. Like that. So then I have access from here to the refinery and the assembler. So I'm going to start welding this one up. We might have to make more, of course. And this might be a little bit looking as it is inefficient, but I prefer to have my base straight on a good location. We will be able then to build a drill down and get some resources from the cobalt, which we will be needing for sure. Put this in production. Now, while this is in production, let's talk about the jetpack. So a jetpack, I'm just enabling by pressing X. This enables my jetpack. I can move with the arrows around. And then if I want to tilt, I can use the, what you call these? The Q and E buttons to tilt my character left and right. And then, of course, your mouse to look around. Another button that you can press here is Z, and that's your dampeners. If you don't have your dampeners on, your jetpack will still work, but it won't try to keep your character in position. So this is a bit harder to control, but it is definitely a handy thing to make sure that you, for example, use less power. For example, in space, I can just go forward like this, then lower my dampeners, and I'm now not using any power while I'm keeping the speed of my my flight. Starting with the assembler. There we go. And now we have unlocked a whole bunch of new blocks. So the only thing we need now is computers to fix the refinery. Let's weld up that refinery as well. There we go. So now we have a refinery and a assembler, and I can access them from here. And I can also put things in production. And now I got large steel tubes, medical components, metal grids, power cells, and so on. So this is going to be definitely much easier to make something. What we could do is start drilling towards the cobalt. And then later on, when we have a drill rig, that is going to be much easier to reach. But for the moment, I just want some stone. And we'll put that in the refinery so that can start doing the stone into ingots. And as you can see, if I put it in here, the refinery is automatically going to do it. I don't need to put this in production. It will automatically do it for me. And then I can go to my production and I can say I would like to get some, I think, interior plates. And now you can hear that both of these are draining the power of my wind turbine. And if I look at control panel, you look at the wind turbine, I'm getting a current output of 331. And my assembler requires 280, the refinery 330. So I definitely need another turbine up there. So maybe we should do that right now. Let me clear my build planner. Withdraw what I have and see if we can build a second wind turbine. We're going to build it here. It's going to lose a little bit of efficiency, but for the moment we're okay with that. There we go. That should be a second wind turbine. Let's see how much power they are now controlling. So this one is giving me 1 kilowatt. Current output. Oh, is this? Oh, I think we actually are getting this amount and we are not using any power. Okay, good. So if I now would put my production and I say make 10 of these and let's make 80 of these because I'm going to start making my battery. We need 80 power cells for that. If I now look at my turbines, there we go. Current output 140, 140. So in total, I can actually get, if I select both of them, I think my build info, you can see for the moment. This is build info, by the way. I am generating or using 281 kilowatts for the basic assembler, which is 280. But I can do 409 maximum output if I need so. I'm going to put my container here. I don't think I have all of the resources for it. No, so we're going to put the rest in production. You are definitely missing iron. Now the advantage is we do have iron nearby here. Alright, we're hitting iron. Iron you can recognize at the red-orange color. Alright, so this is going to be iron. Let's mine some. Drop this in here. And get this refinery to start with... There we go. Now my production should be able to start again. So let's get some more. Now you're just waiting now for iron ingots. Somehow the basic assembler is not getting the, or not taking the iron, weirdly enough. Inventory is full. It is full. Alright, good. We're soon gonna have no problem for that. So there we go. Now we got our container. And that was also, if you look at it, you can see the 4 metal grids I grind down from the respawn pod, the thruster on the bottom. These came in handy to build here. Now, the next thing I want to build is a survival kit, but for the moment we're going to wait until we can bring this closer by. What I'm going to do, we're going to go down here and we're going to look for some cobalt. Let me just drop everything away into the container so I'm completely empty. And I think we're going to dig towards the cobalt, which should be down there. So let me just open up the hole a bit so we get closer to the cobalt. There we go. Cobalt. This is blue. Let's mine some of that. So cobalt is definitely one of the slower refining products. So if I'm going to drop it in here, production, control panel, you will see that this is going to take some time. I'm just going to drop the stone in front so the stone gets done first. And now it's going to do some cobalt, which means we're going to be able to make more metal grids. Did we make all the... Did make all the batteries, power cells, so that's great. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to build a block in between there. Like that. And that is going to keep this pillar connected to the assembler. So I can grind this one away and then put the battery in there. Like that. So this should now be linked to this assembler. I don't think this has a snap point, so I'm not entirely sure now. So let me just grind this away. And we're going to go to our battery. We're going to take the... so normally you will have the regular one. If I take this one, you probably will have that one if you're a beginning player. I do really like the warfare battery. Looks cool. I'm going to weld this up as well. And now we can grind this away again. There we go. The reason why we're building a battery is to ensure that all the power we are generating with these turbines are not lost and stored into the battery. So I'm going to put quite some steel plates in production because we will need quite some thousands. I'm going to put 10, 14 metal grids in production. And we're going to put some steel tubes in production as well. And then we need some construction components, some computers, some steel tubes, and some displays. There we go. The battery is already working. So if we now open up the menu, we look at the battery, it should say fully recharged in 2 days. That is with the power generated by the turbines and, of course, the refinery and the assembler working. As soon these stop working, the battery is going to charge quicker. So what we can do is we can put another turbine up there to ensure that we have more power coming in. Oh, so the wind turbine functions automatically even when you didn't weld everything. You can see as long as it goes above the functional, the wind turbine will work. And it won't make a difference to your power. So it is only like integrity. So if you want this to be a little bit stronger and not being shut up, you might want to weld it up completely. So now we got 3 wind turbines. Let's see. Fully recharged in 6 hours. And that is because still, let me see. We're now currently outputting 409, 409, 409. So that's not bad. So what do I need for the respawn pod and to get it here? We need 4 thrusters. And we need a gyro. Small with gyro, of course. So let me just put everything in here. Let's clear my build planner. It's clear. Let me get a small grid gyro. We draw. And I think we're out of iron. All right. So what I'm going to do, let's just fly back so we can recharge our energy and start with building the first things we need. So one thing we need is a gyro. Let's do that. Gyro. So the gyroscope is going to allow you to control the orientation and tilt of your ship. If you do not have a gyro, your ship will not be maneuverable except just by the engines, which is a bit of a pain. So, and just asking to be crashed. Let me recharge my power again. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to start preparing for the thrusters. So we already got 4 thrusters that's going to lift. We just need 4 directional thrusters so we can go left, right, forward, and backward. We do not need a downward thrust because we are on a planet with gravity. So that doesn't really, is not necessary. It might become handy, especially if you have some extra weight. It seems like the downward thruster does add to stability, but it's not that important right now. We should be fine. So what I'm doing, I'm cutting out the edges here because that is where I'm going to put these thrusters. Like that. Then we can go and take our thruster and I'm going to put one here and make sure that we put it like that. So that the thruster is blowing outwards. If we do like that, it's going to blow against my block and my block is going to explode because of the thrust. So one here, one here, one here, and one here. So that should be allowing us to fly left, right, forward, and upwards. And we're going to start welding up the ones we can, and then we come back with more resources once we get them from the refinery. Unknown signal was detected. These unknown signals are pretty interesting. They do give you some extra stuff. You can also gamble, not gamble. It's like a little button you press and you have like a raffle of things you can unlock. Now you're doing this. You seem to be missing nickel. And we do have nickel nearby. This is nickel. A little bit of a brownish muddy gold, I would say. Yes, we need a lot of motors still. So let's put these back. So yeah, this assembler, while great, it's a basic assembler and it does go very slow. So it takes some time. Refinery goes very slow as well. We can upgrade these later down the line, but for the moment they will do well. We are having weather enabled, which means I do have rain and storms and stuff like that. But I did disable the lightning damage, which means that even if the lightning strikes, it does not damage any of your buildings. Just so you know, lightning strike is insane. It will really make a lot of problems if you are not prepared for that. Especially as a beginning player, this will be very frustrating. All right. So all the thrusters have been welded up and should be functioning. Let me just check these. These seem to be okay as well. We did take a bit of a tumble when we came down, but it didn't really hurt the, the important blocks. The next thing we want to do is put a cockpit in there, in here. See if I have the resources for it. I might have to put a few blocks in here. That. 4. I should be able to build this. There we go. Alright, now we just need to go and get the rest of the resources. And then once that is done, we're just going to set up the toolbar and then bring our little flighter, our ship, over to there. And then we can also put our survival kit on the base. What are you missing now? Iron or nickel? Yes. Okay, I don't really need to weld it up. I can sit in it. There we go. We have all our toolbars here. First things first, let's check what we have. Control panel. And let's unhide, because the other 4 thrusters are here. We're gonna say show block and terminal, so they all show up again here. So we got all of them. These are all off. So let's turn them on. There we go. So all these thrusters should be enabled. Yes. I'm going to select these all, and I'm going to make a group of that, and we're going to say thrusters. Save. And now we have a thruster group on top. And that should be about it for the moment. Landing gear. We need to also make sure that that one shows up. And then we're going to put these 2 in a group, and we're going to say landing gear. Save. So that you now have them both in a group. Then I'm going to press G, which is now, instead of opening the progression bar, it's going to open up the toolbar of the ship you're in, or anything that is connected to that ship. So here I can see all my thrusters, my lights, my cockpit, and all that, and the groups I made right here. So I can then control these in my toolbar. So the first one is the thrusters. We can turn these on and off like that. That means I can turn them off so that I don't use power. Be careful for that, not to turn it off while you're flying. And then we're going to take the landing gear. We're going to put the landing gear in here, which of course is the group. And then we're going to say switch lock. That means that I can unlock that from my cockpit. If I now do this, you will see I am unlocked and I can fly away. I'm going to press V to change view. So that way I can actually look at my ship from a distance. If I press Alt, I can actually use my Alt and mouse to look around without moving the ship. If I don't use Alt, my ship will move instead by using the controller, the mouse. This ship has currently 51 minutes of battery power left, and that is because the thrusters are trying to keep the ship afloat. So you can see that my power is now 51 minutes, and I'm using 62% of the available power output. So the battery has an output of, I don't know, is it 4? What is the battery output again? Battery has a maximum output of 4 megawatt. So that means I'm currently using about 1 megawatt of power to keep the ship afloat. The thrust or the gyro is what allows me to do this. If I wouldn't have the gyro, I would not be able to move the ship like that, and I would just starting to float left and right depending on which direction my ship is like hanging. Just you know that. Something else I want to say? I don't think so. Controlling the ship is the same as you would be controlling your jetpack. So space is up, C is down. Then you have forward, left, right with your WASD buttons. Then your mouse is looking around, and then you can use Q and E to tilt the ship left and right. But let's just go home and drop our ship on the little platform we made. I don't think this has a lot of light, so this is going to be a bit dark to land. And we've been spending quite some time today on getting just started. We're going to where the green marker is, because that is where my solar tower is. Let me just go a little bit lower. So I'm just pressing C to drop my ship. As I do not have any downward thrusters, that is just disabling the upward thrusters and using the gravity to fall down. So be aware of that, when you're using this. Also make sure you don't tilt your ship too much left or right, because you will not be able to flip your ship and fly up again. All right, let's land our little ship here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate it like that. That way I can use then... I have easier access to the survival kit, because we're going to be grinding that survival kit down. And we're going to land our ship on the metal grids here, on the blocks. There we go. I'm going to turn off my thrusters, because thrusters will damage your blocks. So if this thruster is very close to like an unwelded block, this will break very quickly. So be careful with that. All right. So now that we have our drop pod next to our place, and we got our base running, the next thing I want to do is build a survival kit right here. So we're going to open up our toolbar on 4. We're going to take our survival kit and we're going to snap it against there, and then we draw whatever we can. I'm going to snap it like that so that the connector, of course, is snapping on the container like that. And we're going to start welding it up. So as you can see, I got almost everything except for the medical components, and I can now make medical components. I just don't have the silver for it. So for the moment, what we're going to do, we're just going to grind down the survival kit here and use the medical components in there to build the survival kit on the base. Now, I should warn you that now there is no survival kit. That means if I die right now, I do not have any means to respawn at this base. That means that if I die, I will respawn again with another droppod. So you want to make sure that you always have a survival kit available. There we go. Now we can die again. Now you can also see I'm not creating any hydrogen. That means we're going to have to put an oxygen generator right here. And that is something we're going to do in a second. There we go. I can take away this landing pad, because that is not longer used. There we go. Alright, so let's build a O2 generator. O2. My god. O2 generator. Well, O2 generator, there's 2 ports on it. We can build it like that, or we can even build it like that if you want to, because there is also ports on the bottom, depending a bit on what you would like to do. I think it might actually be a better idea to do it like that, because then I have ports on the side and also a port on the front there, like this. There we go. And in the meantime, I also unlocked more blocks, and I think we might get to a point now that we have unlocked even the hydrogen thrusters. O2 generator has unlocked the engine, the tanks, and then once we build a tank, we will also unlock the hydrogen thrusters. But that's for next time. What I'm going to do here, we're going to take the ice. We're going to take some of the ice. Let's take... like that, and then put that in here. And then we're going to take the bottle, and we're going to take that bottle as well, and we're going to put them both in here. So these are filling up. There we go. So now when I'm using this is going to refill also my hydrogen through the O2 generator. And that's it for the moment. I think we have a good basis to start. We are right on top of a cobalt build. That's good as well. That means we can already start focusing on a decent ship that has hydrogen thrusters or O2 the atmospheric thrusters. I think that's gonna be the next episode. We're gonna be focusing on a drill system that actually drills out the cobalt down there, and maybe even a bit of the iron. We'll see, because we were definitely close by iron as well. And then maybe also look and building our first ship or rover, depending on what. But that's it. I think we're gonna call it for here. Thanks so much all for watching. I will see you again next time. Beeblebum out.